Hey, Jayce, it looks like you're getting another piece of your bullpen back in Emilio Quirogas today, and the bullpen has already been finding itself nicely the last week or so. How much does his presence and the return of him add to the depth and options that you have?
We're excited to have him back, and he's been throwing the ball well. His last outing over at USD, and so expect him to come in and throw the ball well over here. But just his overall presence and leadership, it's just nice having him back in the clubhouse for sure. And he's going to help the bullpen continue to roll for sure.
And I assume he'll be back in sort of a more setup role along with Pomeranz, sort of late inning type guy. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I think coming off, we'll see what the game presents, but it could be the sixth, seventh, eighth, somewhere in there. It just kind of depends how the lineup falls and the game situation. But he'll be available tonight.
Will there be any governors on him at all in terms of maybe how many days in a row you want to use him or pitch counts or anything here in the early going?
We don't have any limitations yet, but if he was to go out there and if the pitch count got up or he didn't bounce back well the other day, we'll be flexible. But as of right now, we don't have any limitations with him coming back. He's feeling pretty good right now.
Regarding Chris Paddock, 2 outings ago, he was vintage Chris Paddock in terms of spotting his fastball. Did a great job against the Rockies. Last outing didn't make it out of the fifth against the A's. What was the difference between those 2 outings? What does he need to do to sort of get back to the Paddock we saw 2 outings ago?
Yeah, I think when you look at those 2 starts, the difference was really just location, and it wasn't by much. And so he's put a lot of time in. He has all year, but certainly since the last start, they've been working on a couple things mechanically with that fastball, and he's been able to do that into the bullpens and all the work sessions that he's done. And now it's just a matter of taking all that work and putting it into the game. But like I stated before, it's we're not far off. It's really close. So we believe he's going to put a good one for us tonight.
In his presser after the game, he had sort of mentioned, and I don't know if it was just casually saying it, if there was something to it, but he mentioned possibly tipping his pitches. Was there anything to that, did you guys find?
We look through that stuff all the time. We've got a team looking on it, and there may be something very very minute. Maybe other teams are picking up on it or not. But it was really hard to see. So we're aware of a couple things, and certainly when runners get at second, and are they looking in at the grips and being able to relay stuff like that. So we're on top of it, but we don't think we're getting our pockets swiped too bad, but there's no doubt teams are on the little things, and we're doing the best we can to stay ahead of that as well.
And in your experience in talking to your pitchers and Larry and those types of situations, how much can that play mentally in the back of a pitcher's mind if there's even a doubt, I think, that he's thinking, wow, I wonder if I'm tipping?
Well, it definitely gets into the minds, and especially when runners get at second base too. When they think other teams have the signs, and you're constantly seeing guys change signs and things like that. So, I just think everybody's ultra aware, and it's good to be out front of it. The last thing you want to do is be out there giving up hits and getting the ball squared up when the other team knows what's coming. So it's just things that we have to be aware of. We have to protect our pitches. We have to protect our grips and do all those things.
Thanks, Jayce.
Ben Higgins.
Hey, Jayce. I know it's early and you keep getting asked this. Fangraphs has projected that 10,000 times out of 10,000 times you guys are going to make the playoffs. With a mindset of such day-to-day that you've had that has made you guys so successful, how do you start kind of planning for the future, when it comes to how you're going to set up without losing that mindset that's made you guys so successful?
Yeah, I don't think we'll do that until that magic number's at 0, until we're in. And I think once that point happens, then we'll start talking about other things. And do we believe that's going to happen? Absolutely, we believe that. We're just not going to go down, that road until it's official with the mathematical numbers. And so I think the main thing is too is the truth is, we've got a tough opponent, today and for the next 4 and certainly for the next 7 on this homestand. But the Giants are playing as good as baseball as anybody in the league. It's been a while since we've seen them. I believe it was the second series of the year, and it was a tough series then, and they're playing better ball now. So we know that we've got some challenges ahead of us, and the first challenge is tonight.
Fair enough. On a more general note, your time under Jeff Bannister when you were on the Major League staff in Texas, playoffs a couple of times, what did you anything you kind of learned there about the experience, or even under Wash when you were in the minor league system and the team went to the World Series?
Yeah, just what that playoff run, probably the biggest thing I take away, through all those is just the excitement for the cities, what that does to the city, what it does for the organization, what it does. When I say the organization, it's I think a lot of people are drawn to the players, the coaches, the ones with this team, but the hitting coach in rookie ball and their families. And I think back about those times, and this year may be different, but for members of the organization, whether it's scouts, whether it's coaches on the minor league side, we had an experience where we got to bring all that group and their families in, and I just thought those are some of the times that I think about. So, and just the buzz around the city, and that's what we get excited for, the energy, the buzz in the city, the fan base, and the organization, and that's a big deal to us.
Appreciate the good answer. Thank you.
AJ Castro.
Jayce, from your experience, what is it that kind of makes it seem like bullpens always move as one? Like you had pretty much 6 or 7 guys who were struggling earlier in the year, and now it seems they're all clicking at the same time. What enables that to be a force?
Well, first of all, I think the challenge with most of the pitchers, starting pitchers, bullpen pitchers, nobody's ever experienced the start, stop, start, and 3 weeks of spring training on the second go around. So, I think it takes a little while for guys to find their stride, and that's hadn't been with us. That's been, I think, fair to say. I think it's been league wide. Now we've had some guys get back on track and a good rhythm and timing, to it. So now it feels like we've got some guys clicking, but also the starting pitchers have been they've been rolling as well. They've been throwing the ball well, and just I think how it all comes together. The starting pitchers, they start to find it a little more. They're a little bit more efficient with their pitches. Now they're eating up maybe an inning, maybe it's 2 extra innings, and all of a sudden we found some freshness in the bullpen. And then I think you have a good outing, you stack it with another, and then the confidence begins to build. And so I would say it's just been a little bit of a combination of all those things.
You've been going Drew 8th, Trevor 9th. How flexible is the back end of your bullpen, or is that pretty much the way, generally speaking, you go into a game hoping it will go?
Well, we're flexible with it, and but right now we like that combination, and it's lined up. With some of the matchups, Palms face some guys, and then Rosenthal comes in to close it out. So we're flexible. I mean, that could switch one day, no doubt about it. But right now they're in a good rhythm, and all the other guys have done a great job of getting the ball to those two with 6 outs to go, and we're either in the game or we've got a lead. So to me it's a lot of teamwork there with guys getting the ball to those 2 guys who are certainly trustworthy.
Next, we'll go to Pedro Gomez.
Jayce, fully realizing it's your first year in the city, but what is it like to have such a successful season and not have the fans there to share and give the players even more support?
I've said that a couple times. I think that's the most. Let me say this: like we're so blessed to be playing this year, and so grateful to be playing, and then the way our guys have performed and played, and they're an exciting group. They play with the spirit of just young kids playing a game that they love, and it's fun, it's energetic, it's I don't even know how to describe the joy in the dugout. But the one thing that I have heard the guys say, the one thing that we believe, if there's some negatives to it, is not having the fan base there, not being able to share that with them in the stadium, because this place would just be electric and rocking. With that fan base and the buzz in the stadium, especially the way these guys play. They could really feed off of it. They've also done a very good job of making their own energy and making their own juice, without the fans right now. But it hurts not to be able to share that in game, in stadium, and we can't really be outside in the city. We're basically locked in. So, but even riding home on my scooter, or when guys leave the ballpark, there's people outside, and it's awesome to see people coming out and supporting and waving from afar and yelling and cheering from afar. But we certainly hope. That in a short time we're able to share that all as one, for sure.
And what was it like for you when you saw that unbridled enthusiasm in the dugout, since these players are all new to you?
Well, we've seen moments of it, through spring training, and then we spent a lot of time. A big part of the team was here during that downtime from spring training to COVID camp. So obviously the days were long, they were monotonous. You didn't know if we're going to play. So we did some creative things, and we did the best we could at having fun, and we were improvising things, and you could see the energy from those guys, even when they're practicing and preparing to play for, quite frankly, a season that we didn't know that was going to go on. So now that we got into the real games, we're not shocked to see it, because they had been showing that quite a while before the first game. Now I will say, they've been playing. They're playing well. We're improving, and as that's came, our confidence has come, and maybe a little bit more of the swagger has came as well, which is great to see also.
Muchas gracias.
De nada.
All right, we have time for a couple more questions. We'll go back to Bob Scanlon.
Jayce, I know you've talked about it before, but if you don't mind, the players have talked about it. Would you mind reiterating a little bit the job that Damian Easley and the other hitting assistants have done this year, both in the processes that they've put in place to help this offense and the trust that they've been able to establish with the players? Yeah,
they've been incredible, from Easley to Ryan Flaherty to Morgan Burkhart, and I think those guys are practicing, working on, every single day. They're preparing for the starting pitcher and the bullpen, and they're working with each individual guy mechanically to get it mechanically. They're practicing what they're going to see each night with velocity or sliders, and they're working their decision making. And so, throughout the day, each player has been practicing their future self, which is some of the drills that they need to continue to do to improve for their future self. And then they're also practicing for tonight and practicing the decision making that they're going to do with the pitchers that they're facing. And then being able to take that combination and take that into the game has been a good combination. And we've got a talented group. We've known that. But the way they've been able to practice maybe their eyes and hands and the decision making at the plate, and being able to win 2-2 and 3-2 pitches, and Easley and Flash and that whole crew has remained very even keel and very steady, because there's ups and downs of the season, and you may have 4 guys hitting and 2 guys struggling and everybody else in the middle. So that's an incredibly hard job, but they've done a really good job of staying even keel and just riding the waves and keeping their heads above water.
Thank you, Jayce.
Dennis Lynn.
Hey, Jayce, since you got Clevenger in here and most likely you don't need any more bullpen days, what do you see Adrian Moore role being down the stretch?
Well, the last outing was one of the first, or the few times we've seen him in somewhat of a short burst or a shorter look, and what he was able to do, get ready in a very short amount of time. I think he had maybe 15 or 16 warm-up pitches, because we had a double play go on right before he came in. And then for him to come out and establish a fastball from 97 to 99 and be able to throw his changeup and slider and curveball in the zone. If he's able to do that and repeat that, I think we're confident in saying that's a real weapon. So, we're going to continue to see some different looks from him. It could be, some shorter bursts like that. It could be, a 2-3 inning look. His versatility, because he's lengthened out and he's built up as a starter. But if he continues to throw in some high leverage moments and short burst and continue to have a slow heart rate and doesn't seem overwhelmed or fazed by much, I think our thought process is we may have a real weapon as this season, continues to wind down.
Given that, do you still see him as a possibility to be stretched out, say, next season to 6 innings, which he hasn't done in a while?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if we could go 6 right now, but I feel confident if he's efficient with his pitches. I certainly feel confident he can go 5.
All right, we'll finish with one last question. Ben Higgins.
Thanks. Jayce, you talked about the assistant coaches. Can you elaborate on the role that Skip Schumaker plays for you as one of the holdovers, making him the associate manager, I think is his title?
Yeah, I would say, Skip is I think the best way to describe it is probably just the glue that holds everything together. And so he's connected on every aspect, and he's in the cage. He's watching bullpens. He's connecting with the players. He's constantly in the weight room, in the training room. He's getting updates from the training staff, the weight department. And I just think the best way to describe it is just kind of the glue that just connects this whole thing and works. And being able to be my right-hand guy and keeping me on the loop and picking up my blind spots and things like that, things that I may not be seeing, has been just, critical and so important. And it's a guy that I trust on heavily.